Good day. I am Salazar, alongside with Salaysay, Preza, and Desabille-Rame, presenting about our given topic, which is a freestyle discussion about Paracelsus. Our discussion will contain multiple key questions and his biography and legacy in the world of medicine. Let us begin this discussion. Starting with his biography, the name Philippus Aurelius Theophrastus Bombastus von Hohenheim, also known as Paracelsus, which he created as a pseudonym for himself, although the reason why he named it that way was unknown. But according to Professor Dave, he named it because he was far superior than the Roman doctor named Celsus. He was born in November 11 or December 17, 1493 in Einsdeln, which is in Switzerland today, and had died on September 24, 1541. In terms of his early life, he spent his whole life roaming Europe, wherein he teaches and practices medicine. In his early childhood, the backbone of why he was interested in medicine is probably because of his father, who teaches alchemy. In his early childhood, Paracelsus spent his time with his father in a small village called Villach, Austria, which was a mining town that exposed Paracelsus in the knowledge of metallurgy, which is a branch of science knowing the properties of metal, their production, and how they are purified. His ability to absorb this kind of field greatly impacted his thinking toward his ideology of chemistry and medicine, making him well known in the field of medicine. Another interesting fact, Paracelsus at that time was described as an unusual person because of his way of criticizing work of others, which in turn made him a lot of enemies due to his insult towards other people's work. He was also able to study in numerous universities, only finding out that he was unsatisfied in the teachings with all of them. So, the first question, what happened in the Renaissance period at the time of Paracelsus? At that time in the Renaissance period, the chemistry towards medicine was only focused towards natural medicine, where medicine herbs and plants were used. Although, in the mind of Paracelsus, most natural medicines were too weak to be used in curing the human body from diseases or illnesses. So, he managed to advocate the use of specific chemicals that were inorganic, wherein this particular idea was already prevalent, which was proposed by the Arab school of thought. And because of his principle and theories, he brought the idea of chemistry in a human body which is composed in different elements.
So, what were the inorganic chemicals used by Paracelsus in making medicines? Paracelsus is known to be the man who introduced chemistry to medicine, since Paracelsus believed that natural remedies were too weak to be of use. He used minerals and other chemicals in producing new chemical based remedies. Paracelsus believed that the human body is composed of three chemicals. He composed a principle that balancing all the three elements can ensure a proper chemistry in the body. Chemicals such as mercuric salts were used, which are successful in treating syphilis. A variety of salts, too, were used in other conditions. Paracelsus said that diseases tend to attack a specific organ, which is also called a target organ. That's why he introduced using a specific chemical or mineral in curing a disease. Mercuric and arsenic salts were the inorganic compounds used in Europe until the arrival of modern chemotherapy in the 20th century. Paracelsus is the precursor of today's medicine and using vitamins and minerals to remain healthy.
After advocating the use of chemicals, how does the dosage of chemicals affect the health of individuals? When Paracelsus came up with the idea that the dosage of the chemicals is what makes it poisonous, it was groundbreaking since it is a new discovery for them. However, most people do not distinguish the difference between poison and medicine. With that being said, it is hard for an individual to identify what a good and a harmful drug is. Even if it is good medicine, taking too much can still harm a person because of high dosage. That is why people are dying of an overdose. A substance at a high dosage can be toxic. It can be cure and it can help improve an individual's health if taken with the right amount of dose. Numerous people still lack knowledge about how such medicine can harm a body if not taken at the proper dosage in today's generation. Paracelsus also supposed that diseases could be found in specific organs. He also chooses a drug that can cure a specific organ that has a disease. This knowledge of Paracelsus has provided a lot in our medicine today, as there are many drugs whose only purpose is to treat the particular organ affected by certain conditions.
I'm here to talk about Paracelsus' legacy. Paracelsus was a self-assured man who used these new techniques and approaches to polarize his field of study. However, he was able to interest Europeans and writers such as Johann Wolfgang von Goethe and Terence Thomas Mann mentioned him. It's difficult to tell the difference between actual stories and fairy tales because of the various myths that have sprung up around him. He questioned the humoral pathology that was prevalent at the time. He believed he had discovered the true path to medicine with his medical interpretation of alchemy, which he dubbed Pagrik. He revealed his thesis for the first time in his Archidoxis of 1526. The Archidoxia became the foundation for the development of chemical medicine after his death. The three principles, or the Tria Principia of Alchemy, were the foundation of Paracelsus' understanding of nature. The third new principle was salt, or sal, which was expressed in the development of solid forms in the earth, in addition to the well-known principles of sulfur, or sulfur with the attributes volatile and combustible, and mercury, or mercury with the properties alive, liquid, and watery. Paracelsus wrote a number of medical works, including what is likely the first monograph on miners' ailments. The majority of his work was not published until after his death. Hence, his influence grew after he died. Peder Sorensen, or also known as Petrus Severinus, who published his idea, Medicine Philosophicae in 1571 defended Paracelsus against Galen, who was then regarded the greatest medical authority. The new chemical medicine invented by Paracelsus was published in the Ottoman Empire shortly after the first medical chemistry courses were taught in Jena in the early 16,000s.
To sum it all up, seeing how Paracelsus made a number of contributions towards pharmacy and the concept of human chemistry. Although it is still noted that the progression towards immediate advancement in medicine was rather slow and needed further development and research. Because back then, diseases and other illnesses were incurable and misunderstood. But looking at our present time right now, the rate in medicine development increased due to the advancement in technology. Thank you everyone for listening. That is all.